What is up, everybody? Welcome to the dojo, where we're going to be discussing the Pizza Ninja boot camp that's going on right now. We are entering week number 3. We're going to do some live roasts if you guys are about that. We're going to do that later in the episode. This show is live on X and on YouTube. Feel free to hop in the chat. We'll pull you up and be part of the conversation. And this show is brought to you by, you guessed it, Pizza Ninjas. Speaking of which, we are having 2 events at least at Token2049. We're actually going to dive right into those once we get started. I'm joined by my friend, Flyride Chris D. What is up today, Chris?
Just being ninjas named Chris. That's all. That's just what we're doing. That's just what we do. Just chilling.
So I just had Chris because, for those that don't know, Chris is a videographer, so he's got really good lighting and stuff. I just tagged him in a non-related ninja event for Token 2049. I don't know, man. Is it even on your radar? Is there even like a fraction of a possibility that you'll make it out there?
Oh, I'll for sure be out there because I do the live broadcasting at Karate Combat. They give me a wire. I screw that little wire into my computer, and then all of a sudden I have their broadcast and throw that out to Gockstein Media, and they do their own live stream. We do interviews. I was just telling somebody else on the stream a minute ago, one of the last times we had a guy just lost a fight. He's sweating like crazy, just got his ass kicked. Basically, he's bleeding from his eye, and he's sitting down there and we're interviewing him before he's had a chance to rest.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That. So that was wild to get to do that. So I'm going all the way to Singapore to do it again for the 3rd time. So it'll be cool.
I love it. Let's go ahead and jump into what the ninjas are going to be producing over there. Speaking of which, too, just, if you like these live streams, these broadcasts, we do them weekly, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And if you like it, give it a like, give it a share, do all of those social media things. We'd appreciate it. But number one, and first and foremost, this show is for our fellow Pizza Ninjas. And it's for all the other ordinal enjoyers as well. But we obviously want to hit the biggest Pizza Ninja topics of every single week, which is always something going on. I saw a post today that was like, what is making Pizza Ninja so successful? And I was just like, man, where do I begin? Well, I guess so I can begin right here talking about Token 2049. We're doing 2 things. We're going to have a BTC bar and a master party list. This is brought to you by Pizza Ninjas and BitLayer. The description will be the coolest Bitcoin ordinal and the leading Bitcoin L2 have teamed up to throw the epic events. So this is 5 days of awesome events and parties. I actually saw the list, and like this BTC bar is going to be like running for several days. As you see right here, it's at the bottom of the list on Wednesdays, Thursday, and Friday, or Wednesday and Thursday for sure. But yeah, you can check out this link. It's actually pinned at TO, obviously the CEO of Ninja Alerts, and Pizza Ninjas is actually pinned on his Twitter for the Luma links. But that is the BTC bar and Seoul. Is it Seoul or Seoul? I should know this. I need to be
Trevor said that the BTC bar is for Seoul, Korea. Token 2049 is Singapore. So 2 events, 2 places.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is, that point stands. Ninjas are everywhere. I actually tried to get our event coordinator on the show tonight, but I think he was a little busy because I figured he'd be able to nail this. For the events that I go to, I'm like all over them, but it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. Okay, thank you. I'm so glad Trevor was here to clarify that. So just to kind of reiterate what was said, the BTCBR is actually for Seoul, Korea. This is separate than Token 2049, but we do have we are obviously having a Token 2049 presence. Which is going to be the Bitcoin Masquerade. So we're going to take a look at that event page as well. Again, if you need these links, they are pinned to at TO's profile. This is also presented by, you guessed it, Pizza Ninjas and our friends at BitLayer. And so this is some of the details it's going to be. If you look at both of these, Pizza Ninja holder approved. We always, I don't know the ins and outs of this event yet. I just know that every event we have, we try to do something special for Pizza Ninja holders. So I imagine that you're going to get, something. We'll see how that works out. But the mask is provided upon arrival. Join us for an epic party, XM Studio and Gallery in Singapore for Token 2049. Fancy dress is not required, but encouraged, but the experience and the vibes. Awesome people, incredible music, excellent drinks. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of people like Trevor normally dresses at these events, which is like usually like not like a suit, but maybe like two parts of a suit, and then his ninja hat. I feel like that's Trevor's standard look at these events. It's like got to represent the ninja, but also got to have a little bit of orange in the suit, but still look professional. I imagine that's how like everybody's going to be dressed here.
Oh, dude, somebody needs to show up in that Dumb and Dumber, just full ass orange suit. That would be epic.
We had that token. You remember we had the orange balls at our event in Nashville. I don't know if you remember those, but there's people walking around in these giant orange balls.
That's fun.
So there's already 328 people signed up for this. I guess 328 going. It's obviously hosted by Trevor, Charlie, Eric, and BitLayer. And yeah, you can go ahead and request to join here. So this is Token2049, and this is going to be on September 18th. The other one that I mentioned at the very beginning is actually on September 2nd. So that one's coming up next. That's soon, dude. That's like this weekend.
I was going to say, hey, Trevor, I think it's very important that you put me on a plane to Korea right now. Otherwise, who else is going to make videos of parties?
Yeah, I get these events are so close together. They just kind of like merged in my mind. That's cool though. So Singapore and Korea Blockchain Week, you're going to see the ninjas at both of those. So heck yeah. I want to highlight just some really cool posts. We also got like a new holder this week that came in strong. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. One of the posts is by Mig. Basically just talking about some things he's excited about, like boot camps, Pizza Pets, Pizza Ninja World, events and parties, and just like kind of gave us like a shout out on that. So shout out to Mig for this kind post. Really awesome, just kind of highlighting and seeing holders like putting in, or really recognizing some of the stuff that we've been doing. Shout out to Moods. Moods has been currently a pretty active holder hosting spaces. He actually hosted a space last week that had over 100 concurrent listeners, and it was specifically just Pizza Ninja stuff. Like they interviewed Trevor. I was up there and a couple of other people from the team, like Boozy. And we just talked about Pizza Ninja, the entire space with over 100 listeners. For those of you that are familiar with Twitter Spaces, that's pretty dang impressive. But he's also been doing these arts and animations for the community. Here's a couple of them. I even got mine on there. I'm number 117. I don't even know what my favorite is. They're so unique. You have Vicky's right here. I think that's Vicky's. Hers is 423. I like the laser eyes that comes out. I like the creepy one. This is like a Halloween animation of like like it multiplies. I think this is maybe Brian's Ninja. And of course, captains and hearts and stuff. But you get the point. I think it's really cool that he's doing this for the community.
Oh, I'm jealous. I love your microphone. Check it out. It's wobbling.
Yeah, dude. The microphone like wobbles and stuff. I thought that was really cool as well. I really enjoyed that. I like that. I was included in this. I responded to one of his original messages inquiring about like, who wants this? And I was like, I want that. It looks really cool. But yeah, so another thing we've been doing is we are doing the creator bootcamp this week. If you haven't been following, we have a couple of videos just kind of teasing like on exactly like what the bootcamp was covering. We had Fred talk a lot about X analytics. We even talked about like specifics on that. It's posted. I won't play that here. We have another one coming either tomorrow or the next day. That's going to be a highlight. But one of the biggest things is we challenged some ninjas to run their own spaces, and that's kind of what they've been doing. Kind of been getting on these teams and running spaces together. So it's been really cool. Talked about our creator setups. Like, man, I know this is exciting probably for you too, Chris. It's exciting for me. It's like we're training an army of creators. Like that's what it feels like. And so this week particularly, we don't have this posted live because this is like specifically for our like Discord stuff. But I do want to talk about it. We have we have three objectives. Two of our main objectives is to pick a few people that we like admire basically and see like what they're doing in their work and if they interact with like their holders and stuff or with their followers. And the number two is to pick your best performing post of the week and pick your worst performing post of the week. See why your best was the best and why your worst was the worst. Were you able to do that yet, Chris?
I know what my best one was for sure. And I know that most people don't care about any of my posts. So it's just kind of one of those, I'm good at making the videos that sometimes do well, but as far as the like being good at Twitter and like doing all the reply guys stuff and like all the extra effort, like I do none of it. I just feel like posting things and then I post them. So that's a little different story for me, I guess.
Sure, it's different for everybody. I know for the worst post, I'm not going to lie, I delete some of my poor performing posts. Like if I see that it's like going a certain amount of time, it's not really doing well. It depends on what it is. Some of them I'll just leave it, but others I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't have posted that and I'll just take it down.
Yeah, I think mine, the ones that I end up deleting, I'm like, hey, this would be funny, and I write it, and nobody thought it was funny, and I'm just like,
Yep.
oh, I feel dumb now. I'm just gonna like quickly delete this since nobody gives a shit about what I think. Uh, but then on the other side of things, I kind of just have like I just generally know if I'm at a local LA thing and it's a bunch of D gods and I shoot a video, like it doesn't even have to be a good video. They're just gonna share it around amongst each other and like it'll do well. So I don't really count that as a win for me. That's a win for D gods. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a
that's
little
fair.
different.
That's fair. Do you have any holder or do you have any so I know you come through the web 2 content world where there's like a lot more competition, right?
Mhm.
Like web 3, like, one of the things you've hammered on is like it's so niche. It's like, you can climb to the top by producing good content.
Yeah.
Do you find any web 3 creators that you like admire?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's certain ones. Number one that comes to mind, and I shot him out all the time and got to kind of say what's up in at VCon. But Gino the Ghost, this guy has
Okay.
the best system in place. Period. He shows up and does one video a week, and it's just masterful how he does it because he's funny, he's talented dude. And then he turns that into a bunch of micro content. So like I encourage any creator who's like time poor, like look at what dude does, because it's pretty impressive. You don't realize that every single short you've ever seen from this guy started off as a long form piece of content, outside of the ones that he does in his car. But like he just sits down, he's just super entertaining and charismatic, and it's like somebody to watch for sure. But my friend Jen, she does all the blast content. There's a lot of people that have just like a really strong background in content creation. And then I'll end with saying something that sounds cliche, but it's not. I'm a big fan of K Money's production, like understanding, like the way that he can put together a whole skit and storyboard it and shoot it and do all these things like masterfully done. Everyone else is looking at, haha, Kevin's funny. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's a talented producer. And the behind the scenes stuff is what I'm looking at. So yeah, that's just three off the top of my head.
Dude, those are good. I actually did this assignment myself. We got old Rong up in here. What's up? Welcome, fellow ninja. So I actually did the creator thing myself, and who you kind of reminded me of people that I do admire. Um, so Jen, I don't know why Jen. Well, yeah. So I really like Jen's stuff as well. I listed two very different people. Actually, Crypto Wendy was one of them that I listed.
Mhm.
I really like that she kind of knows like her like what works for her, and she just kind of sticks with it. And she
Yep.
has like everything methodical. So I noticed that like when she makes a video, let's go to YouTube. This is actually really I'm really glad I get to walk you guys through this. Because it stands out to me. So she went live every day, basically. So she streamed 3 hours ago, one day ago. So she streams pretty much every day, right? So this is one piece of content on YouTube that does pretty well. Like most of her lives do really well, all thanks to her on YouTube. New BlackRock altcoin news. So what she'll do is she'll promote that same live video as a tweet. New BlackRock altcoin news, and basically it redirects people to her live that she was just at on YouTube. Now like these are like not like they're not going to get you a ton of views and reposts. I mean, even hers, like even though this seems like a lot, I mean, she's got like 385,000 followers, and like her regular stuff, I mean, she can say something random like, is the J word a bad word? And then like 7,000 impressions, right? But this is a CTA, right? So like maybe she's getting new subscribers on YouTube or whatever. Simultaneously, while she's doing this, she's also live on TikTok. And
Mhm.
so she's live on TikTok a whole different way. I won't even go into right now. Look, all of her links are at the top right here. She goes on live on TikTok. I don't know if it actually. I don't know if TikTok actually shows lives, and I don't want to be too loud right now. But basically, like she'll go live on that same live that I just showed you on TikTok. I think maybe even Instagram, and then she'll do. I don't know. I don't think she necessarily cuts this from her long form content, but then she'll do a short form content later in the day. And I don't really know where that goes. Okay, so she does those. I'm sorry, this is like a long-winded thing, but the way I'm impressed by the way that it all works out. Basically, The short form she'll post on TikTok, then she'll post as a YouTube short, and then she'll post as Instagram Reel. But this will be like a dedicated 9:16 short form. But like that's her flow. So she just goes live, and then she makes one short form video across platform, and then of course, like periodically, like here's her short form. Maybe that's her short form today. I don't know, but like periodically, she'll obviously just post random stuff, on on Twitter. That was a funny tweet to hover over. She'll post random stuff on Twitter, and maybe everyone's on YouTube. So like, I really like her stuff.
Wendy's just super talented too. She's the type that like you'll be hanging out with her. She's just chilled. She doesn't have some weird like creator vibe or be like constantly taking selfies or anything like that. She'll take selfies, but it's not like she's stuck in one zone. But then like point a camera at her and she'll turn it on in flip of a switch. So she's just one of those, just like how I was mentioning with Gino, just some people are just really talented, and you get to see it. You get to see it on video all the time. So yeah, Wendy's a solid creator for sure.
My other one is like the exact opposite of Wendy. I feel like you're gonna cringe a little bit. It's a hot take, man. It's so opposite of Wendy. It's funny because like I don't know, like I feel like I have diversity in here, right? Because I have Wendy who's a female, and I have like a super like what I would imagine like a conservative white male, which is Alex Becker. I think he is so good at content. I mean, he's probably one of the only people that I know that every time he posts a YouTube video, he gets over 100,000. He gets 6-figure views like easily. Yeah. Like he doesn't post often, but like 3 days ago, 177,000. 4 weeks ago, 196,000. 1 month ago, 200,000. And he just does this like unique style. Like, I mean, some of these like he'll intro like with a gun, like running around or whatever, like he's just very silly, very if you follow his Twitter. So I like how he has different styles. Like he doesn't kind of just post one piece of content to all platforms. On Twitter, I mean, on YouTube, he'll post his long videos doing his breakdowns of the crypto market. On Twitter, he pretty much just like shit posts. I mean, like they're not all like that. Like some of them are really good takes and some of them are like informative or whatever. But honestly, Twitter, a lot of times he'll just try to redirect people to his YouTube on Twitter. And then if he doesn't do that, he's just like kind of like doing hot takes, kind of honestly just being like a like intentionally like triggering people.
Yeah, totally.
Like playing this character almost that I don't really believe he's fully there. I mean, look at this. Every man minimum should have basic knife combat training, concealed carry, 200 plus hours of wrestling or whatever, 50 hours of striking. The end, 95% of men can just be walked up. He's hot takes, right? Like this is I don't know, but it's funny, it's entertaining. I mean, these random hot take got 100,000 impressions on Twitter, and then he followed it up in a thread, and the second part of the thread got 59,000, right? So this is like already like 150,000 impressions on one post, like, and then some of these, even more. So I would say, if I had to, I don't know like either of them personally, but I find it funny because it's like I picked Wendy and Alex, and I feel like they're just like very, very different people.
Yeah, well, 100%. Alex has been in that spotlight for a good long time. It's actually funny because I know how Wendy's like a one-man army. She's just an absolute badass doing all of this stuff. And I think even the other day I saw Alex was doing like, he was basically doing like a job search, looking for somebody that could come and kind of be like a dedicated content creator that's just in editing and just working with him constantly. And the funny thing with that is that like with Wendy, she's doing everything herself, and she's got a system and it works, and she's just crushing, she's going after it. Whereas if you're going to be somebody that's like the editor for Alex Becker, you don't even get a name. You're just Alex Becker's editor. Like you will be absolutely absorbed by this machine and you just get to plug into it. So I think it's kind of different strokes for different folks. I like the fact that people get opportunities like that. In a million years, I would never want to be like somebody's like just get gobbled up by somebody else, because it's like you've got such a massive main character vibe from Alex Becker that like even being in the guy's shadow, you'd be invisible. You know what I mean? So kind of depends on where you want to fall into this whole creator cycle. But like, yeah, definitely you could be like the one man army, or you can be part of a team, or you can just be absolutely absorbed by somebody else's already existing machine, and Alex has had that for a minute for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. So and those are my 2 picks. I did think about when you mentioned like 3 like really good creators, and I think of like Jen's particularly like high quality videos. Who ran through my mind? He's like now sponsored by Azuki.
Min's
Man,
awesome.
yeah,
So
yeah,
actually,
Man's got great
the
content.
Min's got an amazing wife, just to tell you. So anybody who's got amazing wives that are like amazing photographers, Chris, you know how that is. Imagine just that your wife's skill set wasn't just photography, but like badass production and all the fancy gear and all these things, and like you just show up and be well spoken and handsome. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna say Min's got an edge over everybody because Jess is quite the talented professional herself. So the two of
Yeah,
them, total
yeah,
power couple. It's cool to see.
I agree, man. I mean, that's great. I mean, yeah, my wife is a photographer, but she doesn't help because like she's too busy herself, right?
Yeah.
But like she's definitely talented. But yeah, that's a great take with his wife, like helping him out with this. But like the production is great. I mean, he's got everything he needs to be like top tier,
Yeah. I
creator.
mean, he totally is. Like in terms of in my opinion, as far as Web3 creators, he is absolutely top tier. And I don't say that like a Mika or Thread guy. They're like top attention. Min is top tier quality.
I
Like,
agree. I agree. 100%. Yeah. Men's built different, honestly. Like,
yeah,
I think the way I look at it is like, let's say everybody comes to Web3 and it's just like the cool thing to start making Web3 content or whatever, like who would still be relevant? Like,
yeah,
I think men could remain relevant. I
yeah.
think Thread Guy has enough of an audience now to where he could, and he is like a unique person. Could he have came up without Web3? I don't know. I mean, we can only speculate, right? I mean, everybody's kind of used something to leverage them. Like we just talked about Alex Becker earlier, right? Like honestly, crypto wasn't even what leveraged him. He was early to like online SEO, online marketing. He sold like a marketing company for 7 figures, 8 figures. I don't remember what it was. And like he used that to start his content, like how I did this or whatever. Some people had drop shipping stuff, some people had stocks or whatever. So I don't think it's really fair to say, oh, it's because of this they blew up, because like everybody
Right.
has that one. Most people have that one thing that like really got them started. Which goes back to we had like a semi argument, not me and you, but me and Fred. We never got to finish it out. So I'll finish it out, without him being able to defend himself.
Nice.
Yeah, like because that's how you argue.
That's how you
Just
win.
wait until they're not present.
Just run unopposed. That's the best way
Yeah,
to victory.
watch Fred just like pop up in the comments. He better not, because he said he wasn't here. How the heck do I close this out? Sorry, I was like trying to close out the screen. Okay, there we go. That's what I was talking about the other day when we were in the boot camp, and I was like, I think that it's important to like find your niche. When I say that, like I'm all about people like expanding and being them and like finding different lanes and whatever. But like if you really like want to like grow, I'm a believer of like capturing a niche, getting enough following in that niche to where you can then break out of that niche. And then it almost doesn't matter. But having that initial, like, whatever, like that initial niche, micro niche or whatever that really helps you get started. Let's take even Alex Finn, right? Like he's huge on Twitter for like growth now. He started because he was a Bored Ape, and he wrote a lot of threads on like Bored Apes and NFTs and whatever. He broke out of that. He did a great job at rebranding. Now he's one of the leading, if not the leading, like growth hacker, Twitter analyst, whatever, on Twitter. Like most of these people like did have, even though their niche was like kind of broad, maybe within the confines of Web3, like they started with some type of core audience, and then that core audience supported them so much they're able to expand from that.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like maybe a middle ground between you and what Fred. I know his kind of stance on things is like not necessarily being in such a small, like being so confined. So I'm gonna just pull up Alex's YouTube right now, and let's see. My guy is not winning on YouTube. He's winning on X. He is in a container still. I think Alex is great. He's hilarious. Fun to talk with, all that. Having said that, you, Chris Coffee, have accomplished something that most people here are just never going to be able to do. You've built a YouTube following that was like slow to build. One video didn't do that for you. You didn't interview Andrew Tate. You've done something that is very difficult to do over time. I know, because it's not for most people to do that slow grind and keep it up for years. So like I think you're climbing the tallest mountain, and so it's easier to look at, let's say, somebody who's doing like what Alex is doing in a niche on Twitter. That is one way to do it. But you're also building something that's a little bit like higher. It goes higher. That mountain goes way the hell higher than X does. Because all we know is that, like, in a heartbeat, you could have your X account turned off, and like people don't have that connection with you just because they see your tweets and because they see this or that. Like if they're watching your YouTube channel and they're investing hours and hours watching you, that is the deepest inner, like the what do you call that? The relationship, not interpersonal, but it's the whatever. It's where they think that you guys are friends. Like they have this connection with you because they've spent so much damn time with you and you've never even met them. That is something that I find that you can really only build with long form content, dedicated followers. It just takes years to build it. And so, yeah, like I think YouTube's the spot, man. I'm just gonna say, I'm proud of you. Got that 10K. That's
I
the
feel
hardest thing
good,
you can
man.
do,
Thank
man.
you for
10K
that.
on YouTube.
That's super kind. I feel like I'm leaving this conversation motivated, which I didn't walk into it motivated, especially with YouTube. But yeah, you're right, man. It's a slow grind. It's very different than Twitter because it is long form, and in a time to where like short form is like just easier to digest and more like addicting.
Yeah.
It's hard to get those like long form people to care, about you. So
Yeah, this is just
yeah.
different. Just different. Platforms have such just the nuance in every different platform is so huge. How things work, why they work on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube or Twitter. Like it's so damn different everywhere. And so I think what I will say, just to kind of land my plane on the whole thing, is that like I'll never be golden handcuffed again to anything. Not ever. Because automotive lighting, my God. Talk about like a niche where you can get ultra bored. Like I was so damn bored there. And so I refuse, like I already know what it looks like to be all in one topic. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna only talk, like, dude, never again in life. I'm not young enough to try that hard to see if I could get vanity metrics on the internet. Like I just literally don't care anymore, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how people do it, man, on like, because at least like crypto and NFTs, like even though that is still like, kind of like I forgot which way you just worded it, but like you are kind of chained to that. It's still like at least like something new and exciting, like almost every day. It feels like there's so much happening, so much, dude. Literally just today, off the top of my head, not even looking at anything on the screen, Avalanche teamed up with Shopify to where now Shopify is going to team up with major brands to go on chain with Avalanche for, I guess they didn't use the word RWAs, but I'm assuming like real world assets. Trump releases a round 3 of digital, for whatever we're on, of digital trading cards, NFTs.
Crazy.
And then this is a micro niche within the space, but Magic Eden launched like a pump dot fund for NFTs. Like that's like so much crazy stuff in one day, not even to mention like Telegram founder, over the weekend and all that like stuff. Like I feel like it's exciting, right? Like it's almost like a news thing of like there's just so much going on. Like I couldn't imagine just like, basically, I'm sure you had like new lights that would come out and like new parts.
Oh, it was so boring. It was the worst.
I'm sure it was pretty slow
You
paced.
just had to be such a shill if you were going to talk about new things. And so I said golden handcuffed. I literally knew if I make a video about things I care about, not going to do well. If I make it pretty and beautiful and edited to the beat, not going to do well. If I do anything I want, not going to do well. But I know if I talk about this one stupid topic, it's going to be a banger and I'll just get all the views and blah, blah, blah. And if inevitably that's, I'd make that content. It's like, that's a weird situation to be in. Like, imagine if you were like, you can only paint using this one color of paint and you can only paint the same shape and you can only do that on a Tuesday. Otherwise, it's just not, you're not going to be able to eat. Like dumb. Like, no, that's
But
not it.
everything you're saying, while it might have been frustrating for you because you did it for so long, is actually like alpha for people that want to grow their content and get started, right? Like maybe you didn't like doing that thing and it wasn't really like your favorite thing, but if it did well, if you repeat that same thing several times, it's probably also going to do well. Like it is a good launch pad for yourself of like, maybe you felt uncomfortable going on selfie talking for 5 minutes, but maybe that was your best performing video over your high resolution camera, your best lighting and all that over the last week. Well, maybe you should try more of those if you are trying to grow. And maybe the Tuesday at the time you don't feel like posting it is the best time. It's like everything, like I know what you're saying because I understand completely. I was very similar in a small branch of Web3 and with other things. But I mean, some of it, like it makes sense, right? If you're trying to get started, like trying to figure out what works.
I think about it like this. I've been watching a lot of 80s movies with my teenager because they're just better movies half the time. Bro, it's wax on, wax off. It's literally paint the fence. You're just doing these things. They're these mundane tasks, but they get you good. They lead to mastery. So while I don't think it's healthy to stay chained to one thing, it'd be kind of like that movie Karate Kid. If the dude just kept painting fences the whole time and he never turned that into the skill set, which was cool, was fighting and beating, the bully kid and blah, blah, blah. Like that would be a terrible story and nobody would want to watch it. But instead, it's like you learn the thing, the repetition teaches you the thing, and then you use that thing to become dangerous in this other area. And we're pizza ninjas. Like you got to learn how to be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like that's
100%. Speaking of pizza ninjas, we got some love on YouTube saying from Adele saying, "Love you ninjas, love you too, Adele. Appreciate the love for the ninjas." Yeah, man. I mean, we just covered a lot. Session 3 is this week. We've been doing like homework. These sessions have been like highly comprehensive. We have like a line of guests, to come speak at these things. We appreciate all of our ninjas. Oh, last thing I got to touch on before we end is we do have a new holder. This dude just like, we don't really, I feel weird even like mentioning it in this capacity, but like, obviously like we're here to heads down, build, create fun stuff, do cool shit, run events. Like, it's not like I don't wake up every day being like, necessarily trying to like the holders care about the price, of course, and that's always in the back of my mind, but like I don't talk about it a lot. But I like got on today and this dude got like 6 ninjas, dude. And I was like, what the heck? And obviously like, again, while I don't want to like prioritize that for this style of content, like everybody's on Twitter just like super excited. I'm just like, cool, like I've been head down building. Like it feels good, right? It feels good that people recognize like those that like truly are trying to like build something cool. But with all that being said, I'm assuming new holder. And this is Frog Dog Millie said, did I get any new ones?
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ninjas. Sweet, bro. That's insane.
What
That's
dude
cool.
just woke up and was like, how should I spend a whole Bitcoin today?
There you go. He's got almost a full pizza. Isn't it like 8 slices is a full pizza or something like that? So he's got almost a full pizza of ninjas, right? I think 2 more and that's like our well status. And yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, that's awesome that he's able to do that. He got some really cool ones in here too. I love the lightsaber cat. He's got the Manami with the Bitcoin. I love the Bitcoin block's one of my favorite traits. The lightsaber is one of my favorite traits. I like the turtle. Just this color pattern's really cool, like the yellow and the bright green. Yeah, man, I think you got some really good ones in here. I thought it's just super cool. What a freaking sweet, bro. It's insane. He got 12K views on a quote tweet. We're talking about content so much. He got 12K views on a quote tweet of this. Like, so that's nuts. So welcome, Frog Dog Millie. We appreciate you. Welcome to the dojo. I hope that you get all the things that you desire out of it. And we're going to keep on delivering. So super excited to have you.
Very cool.
Yep. With all that being said, I think that's a wrap, Chris. They do have, forgot to shout this out last week, but the rest of our team, not like the entire team, but like some of our team runs a space on this same day. I think it's like maybe like an hour after we close this out. I'm going to make sure, but it's called IP is Dead. So if you're not doing anything tonight and you're like, man, I'm looking for something to do, go check that out. I'll go ahead and pull it up just so I can know for sure what time it is. I'm looking on NFT Nows to make sure they've been promoting. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. IP is Dead. It is today at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll go ahead and will I pull that up now? You'll just go to @NFT Now or just go check on @TO or check on Bell NFTs, Human on Fire, Troy Kalak, Starlordy, Ken, all those at that time of 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. IP is Dead. They'll be live. They're going to talk about IP why it matters, things that we're planning. So you'll see the Ninjaverse and a lot more cool things, and really start understanding like how serious we're taking IP. There's a lot more things to come out of that. With all that being said, any last words, Chris?
I don't know. I'm just excited to talk about content. So week five, I'm gonna break all this stuff down, live production, all that. Good stuff.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited about that session specifically. That's gonna be really cool. All right, everybody, you guys have a great rest of your